Hello, love. Welcome to your confirmation messages. A very warm and loving welcome to you, family, for being here. Those of you finding this message for the first time and it finding you, because it goes both ways. A very warm and loving welcome to you as well. We are getting right into these timely yet timeless messages for whenever they find you, again, or you find them, for the highest and greatest good, and in alignment with the highest and greatest truth of the ELSH collective, what I refer to as the ELSH collective: empaths, lightworkers, starseeds, healers, awakened and awakening souls. Quick little check-in first. It is Earth date June 13th at the recording of this particular message. I believe that it is a Friday. And I'm saying I believe that it is a Friday because the topic of this confirmation message / transmission message, very much in keeping with what we had started here a while ago, Transmission Tuesdays for you OGs of the channel. This is very much a transmissional message. Commander Ashtar here. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 on the counter as I say that, to talk about timelines and the progression of timelines. And of course, 1, 2, 3 being very significant in that. I'm working with the energies here of blue, kyanite, which is really the original form of kyanite, and tektite, this beautiful piece of tektite, okay? And he's also directing me to show you here this beautiful piece of astrophyllite coming through this message as well. The energies and the frequencies of our star ancestors really wanting me to remind us of that. And this beautiful piece of optical honey calcite, because some of this here is also connected to the fact, the timely part of this message is connected to the fact that in about a week, we have the summer solstice, okay? And we have a festival and a celebration of the cycle of Mama Gaia. And one of the things that, and the cycles, I should say, of Mama Gaia, one of the things that Commander Ashtar speaks to for me is cyclical time, the true nature of time, and timelines in general. So all he gave me going into this message was to share with you the fact that time has been feeling wonky lately. And it's been feeling wonky for a while. And I'm hearing diamond light and diamond light codes, and the frequency of I'm hearing 6th dimension. The upkick in frequencies being responsible essentially for this, okay? And I'm just going to start by kind of sharing a little bit personally what's been going on with me, and a lot of it has also been brought on by a move, an actual physical move, and a change in, he's saying, he's telling me to use the word here occupation, but he means it here in every possible meaning of that word, to bring our attention to what we are occupied with. And this concept of no time is how I'm hearing it. There's a zone of genius, and I can't remember the man who coined that term, but he wrote about it in a particular book, where when you begin to enter your zone of genius, you begin to feel like there is no time. And there is a flow in what you're doing. And he's sharing in that some insights around how time is shifting and how it will begin to feel more this way If you have been working on your energy, your frequency, if you've been doing the shadow work, I'm hearing, if you've been doing the psychological work, if you've been doing the work of clearing the imprints and the programming, if you have been doing the work of much of the divine feminine aspects of flowing in flow state, he's showing me, I'm also feeling, side note here, because energies, this is a general reading for the ELSH collective, so I will have different energies come in at certain points. The Pleiadian energies coming in as well, so some of you may be working with Pleiadian guides, resonate with being Pleiadian in origin in terms of starseed lineage, or just soul family, soul family that is Pleiadian energy. They're also assisting, and this goes without saying, but this has a lot to do with shifts into 60 consciousness. And we have to understand dimensions here in terms of planes or levels of consciousness and awareness. Okay, this isn't an actual physical place, although there are certain frequencies, 606 on the counter as I say that, and that's bringing in the energy of the Venusians as well. And Commander Ashtar, for me, is connected to the Venusians very much. I'm hearing Sanat Kumara, Sanat, who I think I've heard that before. I'm not very familiar. Okay. Lady Venus, the energies of Lady Venus as well connected to that. These are frequencies, energies that if they resonate for you and you feel comfortable with them, you can engage with calling upon star ancestors, essentially is what they're saying, within sacred space, aligned to source, the highest and greatest good of humanity, your highest and greatest truth, and in love and unity consciousness, to assist you in understanding this shift and how this timeline shift is occurring. So essentially, the crux of this message, which is not going to be very long, I'm feeling, is to affirm for you and to confirm for you that if time is feeling wonky, you're not just imagining that, because of the shifts in energy, the shifts in frequencies here on Mama Gaia. This also, on a more personal level, is connected to your own quantum shifts, is the word that they're giving me here, your own quantum shifts with regard to your timelines. You may be noticing this in not just yourself, but friends, family, even acquaintances, extended family is what they're giving me. They're just giving me a number of examples that are relational. So people they could be co-workers, they could be classmates, they could be people kind of popping up back in along your radar, maybe who you haven't seen or heard from in a very long time, where there are certain parallels in their life to your life with regard to choices and timeline trajectories. And there's something in that. There's something very significant in that, because you're either meant to align to something with them, or there's some kind of closure that's coming in. And I'm seeing a snake now shedding its skin in terms of transformation, where we're going next, rebirth, etc., etc. Okay, so we're just going to pop some cards now. These are all just going to be sort of certain energies they're showing me that they want us to focus on. Again, this is a collective read, so I'm going to aim and intend to get as much out for every single soul that is engaging in this message. So I'm going to be asking first through the Starseed Oracle. We'll pop a few cards from that. And then I am going to be asking through John Holland, beautiful John Holland's The Psychic Tarot. Okay. And let's just see where this goes. He didn't, I was ready to take notes to start with this. This is so funny. And this is another thing that he keeps on also bringing up is the fact that there's a certain rhythm or method in the way that I like to sort of work when I begin to do readings and channel messages. And what's been happening lately is he's just saying to me, no, what we would prefer for you to do for this, and please experiment with this, of course, of your own free will, because, of course, these energies that respect free will as a law would never want to impose or say for you to do something against your will, of course. He's inviting me, in a sense, to engage in the things I do differently. Engage in the things I usually do differently. So, I had my notebook ready. I was ready to write notes and messages and things like that. And he was like, no, we're not doing it that way this time around. What we would like is for you to just be present and in the moment, right? It's almost like, and it's not that when we are engaging in the things that we usually do habitually in a certain way, we're not engaging in the present moment. He's not saying that, because you have to be present in order to do this kind of work. What he's showing me is trying new ways to do that, because it very much parallels what it's like to be on a new timeline. And there's something about that when you're doing something differently that has you even more engaged. And I mean, it's basic human psychology in a way, but it's really important to go back to these basics to understand that when you revisit something in a new way, you're more engaged. Just naturally, more of your attention is focused on that particular thing. And some of you may actually be feeling that. That's why he's bringing that through. Some of you may actually be feeling that things that you normally do, you're doing differently. And that includes even your spiritual practices. That includes even how you're engaging with your guides. That includes even how you are doing what I like to refer to as spiritual hygiene, or practices of spiritual hygiene, shielding, sacred space, etc., etc. It's evolving, essentially. All of those examples were essentially touching upon the energy of evolution and how we're growing and how we're changing and how we are shifting. Okay, so let's start by popping some cards here. We're going to be asking first through the Starseed Oracle. Let's see what wants to come out for this with regard to time being wonky. What exactly is going on? He wants me to pull this one out. Double mission is what came out for that. Lightworker Starseed. Serve the world by being you. So this is interesting, because what he's actually bringing through with this has much to do with something that had come up months ago in another reading regarding having to sort of loop around or revisit a situation. That's how this it's coming in like a double timeline, as a double mission. Oh my goodness. And he's even saying to me, the timeline is the mission. So it's almost like they're synonymous. This double mission is essentially synonymous with a double timeline. Ooh. There's a video, oh my goodness, and I'm going to have to find it now and link it here. There was a message that had come through also a while ago where he was actually showing me parallel timeline. It was all through a diagram. I don't remember all the details, but it had to do with this concept of jumping timelines. So some of you may have felt, and I will definitely link that video here, because some of you may have felt that you have jumped a timeline or are jumping timelines. And also what I'm getting here is parallel mission in the astral. Okay, so this is another confirmation. This has been coming through with Soul Family as well. This has been coming through where we are essentially having a double mission while we are actually here and conscious on Earth, but we're also having a double, at the same time, there is a mission that's occurring on the astral, or there is a mission that's occurring off planet. And this is a whole other topic for discussion, which we won't get into here. But if it's pinging for you, it's pinging for you. With regard to this parallel, because if time is an illusion, and we're talking specifically about one infinite present moment, which is something he touched upon earlier, then potentially everything is happening all at once. So your past life is actually a parallel life, so to speak. But it's difficult to understand that in terms of linear or even parallel time, is what he's saying to me. Because he's showing me it's experiential. Is that even a word? What I'm trying to express here is that it's an experience that is happening within you. It's a frequency or an energy that you are holding constantly. You may even be finding that throughout your day, it's funny because it's the way he's showing me the energy. It's not exactly, it's tuning in. It's not zoning out, even though it may appear that way on the outside. It may appear like you're somewhere else. But what you're actually doing is tapping into a parallel version of self. Oh man. And this is also connected to this concept of anytime you can imagine in your mind a parallel, or I shouldn't say parallel here. No. It's another trajectory that you could have gone down. Okay, so a perfect example is, let's go to relationships. Okay, babies, let's go to relationships. So whether you stayed with a certain person or you didn't, right? There is a potential timeline that still exists within the fabric of the quantum field and the imagination, right? Or if we think about that, somewhere it exists. I'm going to stop there because this could go in a whole other direction. But for some of you, you may be playing, I'm hearing coordinates. What does that mean, Commander Ashtar? Okay, he's saying that you're going to know what that means. He's literally showing me the coordinates on Earth, like the latitude and longitude coordinates. Okay, I'm also hearing the energy of the shifting poles. That might resonate for some of you too. So there's something in that as well. And Mother Earth, Mama Gaia, she is all up in this as well. There's something with her energy that's really significant in that. And her timelines shifting, parallel timelines with her, mirroring what we are also feeling. And now he's also bringing me to the energy and frequency of evolution in consciousness and what we are focusing on energetically in terms of where we intend for Mother Earth to go, that being a very powerful thing and a very important thing. So, and this goes back to the energy of envisioning. So when we take it to the microcosmic level, when we are visioning what we want for our life, we're doing that for this particular incarnation and this lifetime. But at a grander scale, the microcosmic, we also contribute to the energy of timelines here on Earth, collectively. Okay. Starbathing, light body crystal grid. It almost sounded like kid. Yeah, you're a crystal kid. That's right. Could be crystal children. Okay, connected to this. Light body, crystal grid, transmission, and activation. Physically, looking up at the stars, having images of stars, star bathing. This is also getting out in the sun, because the sun is a star. And when we get downloads, getting light assists us in the digestion, is what I'm hearing, of those downloads, and also clearing and rebalancing the third eye chakra, number 6. So again, about harmonizing this. Again, the energy of the Venusians significant in this if you're working with them, or the Sisterhood of the Rose for that matter, or the energy of Christ, Jesus Christ, Master Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, the whole shebang, okay? Ancient Christianity, the true Christian faith, not necessarily according to what has been interpreted as that. The teachings of Paul, for example, okay? No disrespect to any of that, but it's about being discerning, because for that third eye to come out, the sun and sunlight, and I'm also even getting here the energy of obviously moonlight. We're talking natural light and light sources, but even candlelight, gazing at a candle, gazing at the flame, gazing at the sun, doing it safely, obviously. The sun, what do they call it? Sun gazing. You do it first thing in the morning, right at sunrise. I have started this practice. I like to do it in the evening at sunset, just because that where I'm living right now, I see the sunset much more clearly than I do the sunrise, because the sunrise is behind a mountain ridge where I am, and I don't really get to see it come up directly over the horizon at a time where it is safe to look directly at the sun. Okay, so looking that up and being very safe with how you're doing this sort of thing. The general rule of thumb with sun gazing is that you do it the first hour of sunrise and the last hour of the sun setting, okay? Of your own free will, of course, and doing it safely. I can't emphasize that enough, because the power of the sun is incredible, but it's also been something that, unfortunately, there's an agenda to get us fearful of it. Geoengineering, need I say more? All of these things are being done deliberately as a way to disconnect us, I'm hearing, to one of our major power sources. Okay, and when I say power source here, I don't mean that in terms of just energy in the physical sense. I'm talking about frequency, vibration, our connection to the stars, because the sun is a star. And also this goes to actual star bathing, like going out at night. Hopefully you don't live in an area where there's tons of light pollution and things like that, but looking up at the stars, right? We got rejoice in celebration. I love to see that. And firm foundation. Okay, so that is the 4 of the physical body here, which is like the 4 of Pentacles. But you see how there is a beautiful mirroring energy of being like a mountain. And what I love about the mountain energy is how high it reaches up into the sky, into the ethers, and yet it is so grounded, right? And I'm also getting the sacred geometry here of the pyramid being significant in that too. So this is about helping you to ground light energy, light codes into timelines. For some of you, this is the timeline. It's learning about this, building firm foundations, getting out of situations that had you feeling very ungrounded, moving into this energy of rejoice and celebration. Actually, what's beautiful is how he's bringing this through to me. I'm actually seeing this image here at the back here, like an actual big ass trophy. Like it's time to celebrate. We've jumped significantly. That's what I'm hearing. Progress is being made. Okay. This is like the Three of Cups. So we're talking about the emotional body. Okay. What he's really emphasizing here on is the frequency, the energy, the feeling of joy. Joy is very high frequency. It's high vibrational. It's healthy. That's what I mean when I say that. It is very functional in its energy. When we are in states of joy, we feel lighter. We flow. And he's showing me we actually make better choices or healthier choices regarding timelines and the timeline we're meant to be on. The funny thing is that I say that and he's saying to me, okay, there's more star bathing right there. Look at that. Accelerated motion. That is the Eight of Wands. This is happening fast. This is happening really quickly. He wants me to pick that up and show you that. And then look at the bottom here. This is happening really fast. Okay. Here's what he's saying. There never really is a wrong timeline. There's choice. For him to be saying that to me, some of you watching here really need to hear that, because there's some kind of reprimanding energy, like whether you're self-reprimanding or somebody saying to you, that was wrong, you shouldn't have done it, you should have done that years ago, blah, 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 blah. Now, people can be well-meaning in those things, meaning, maybe you were in a relationship where that person was not, respecting you, and that other person saw it, and, they didn't like the fact that that person was like that, and blah, blah, blah. They wanted you to have better, you know what I'm getting, you know what I'm saying, you get my drift? But you needed to live through that for a reason. There was a lesson in that, okay? It's funny. I'm hearing the song You Can't Hurry Love, but he's saying you can't hurry growth. Oh my God, patience and planning. There you go. Okay. And that is the Seven of the physical body again. That is the Seven of Pentacles. And also deception and envy, the Seven of the mental body, or swords. Okay. And he's also showing me this as well. Prosperity begins. That's the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So the moment that you make a choice to move in a different direction that you know is in alignment with your highest and greatest good and your highest and greatest truth, you're on the right path. It's as simple as that. You're on the right timeline. It keeps on directing me to these oranges or peaches. They look like peaches. Yeah. I don't know why. I guess, okay, so some of this, okay, so there's energies here with regard to the sacral chakra. These are 28 on the counter as I say that. So there's some kind of rebalancing here that might want to take place. I'm also hearing the tree of life with this tree, because 28, that's 10. That is the Wheel of Fortune. And also when you reduce that energy, you get a 2, which is also the High Priestess energies, the energies of relationship, the energies connected to divine feminine energy, all of it being very significant in terms of, and it's funny because you see 2 hands here, but they look like, that's really up to your interpretation, because when you look at those 2 hands, it could be your own 2 hands, like one on top of the other, or it could be 2 different people joining hands. Essentially, what he wants to bring through for this message is that you see the seed here in the darkness. You don't see a lot of growth there. And that goes back to, until this seed becomes a tree, you're in this stage. Patience and planning. You're in the 7 of the physical body, or the 7 of Pentacles, okay? You're not going to see it necessarily right away, that energy. You won't see it right away. But there was something that was brewing. There was something that was growing underneath the surface there. Oh my goodness, the Magician. Yeah, he wanted me to pull that out here. This is the energy of awareness. This is the energy of focus. This is the energy of intention. So some big leaps have been made with regard to clearing imprints around lack mentality and what is possible for you in your life. Coming more into alignment with the true energies of manifestation and what that truly means. Okay? And what he's showing me again is the energy of right relationship and your frequency. This isn't necessarily about focusing really hard on something you want to manifest and create in your life and like pushing for it. And it's funny because we had that 2 energy come through earlier, which is the Priestess, which is magnetic, and the Magician being the 1 being electric. Okay, so we've got an electrical charge here, which is often interpreted as being masculine, right? The energy you put out. And in the Divine Feminine, we have a magnetic charge, the energy that you're bringing to you. It's all one and the same. Working simultaneously is what he's showing me. When you are integrating both aspects of the self and understanding that it is about the energy you are putting out, the frequency that you are emitting. For this Magician, this awareness card to be coming up at the bottom of the deck. And what he's really focusing on here, he's bringing me back to the sacral with these peaches, but he's also bringing me to the mind, the third eye, the crown, your thoughts. Oh, moving on. That 6 of Swords. That's just another little confirmation for some of you coming out of the darkness is what I'm hearing as this man emerges from this darkness, the kind of dark night of the soul energy. And that's not poo-pooing on the energy of being in the dark and not knowing again where you are. He's showing that darkness as this again. Potential for growth is what I'm hearing with that. And on that note, I am going to close out this reading. I'm going to leave that Magician right there as I close out this reading. Thank you for being here. We will be back again in 7 days for more confirmation messages. I hope that this has resonated, helped you in some way, even if it's not. That's great too. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are, right across beautiful Mama Gaia. Thank you, Commander Ashtar, for being here with us. I thank you for being here with me as well. Quick little note before I sign off here. I am in the process of offering now one-on-one sessions again. Just email me at the email in the description box below and tell me what you are interested in doing. Right now, I'm essentially customizing reading sessions based on what it is you are interested in seeking. One of the things, especially that's been coming through lately, has to do with starseed connections. Also, the energy of your name being significant as well. Those are things that I'm going to be developing moving forward. So stay tuned for that. I'm sending you so much love wherever you are. In love and liberation always.